Hey guys. Welcome to Secrets Behind the Stars. All the details are in our video. Don't forget to subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and share this video before we continue. Thank you so much. Last night, an unexpected scene sent a shock through the acting world. Akın, returning to Istanbul after wrapping a commitment abroad, was met with a phone call the moment his plane touched down. People close to him say the message was brief and devastating. Ebru had been rushed to the hospital after a sudden bout of illness. Everything else faded. Witnesses at Istanbul airport reported that Akın changed direction mid-step, abandoning the luggage belt and heading straight for the exit with his assistant struggling to stay at his side. The worry in his eyes was plain as he strode into the parking structure, jaw set, shoulders tense, forcing the driver's door open while still on the call. According to those nearby, he barked into his phone, "Take me to the hospital now," and shut the door with a thud that echoed. From the moment he reached the hospital entrance, the calm shattered. As he approached the emergency wing, the commotion seemed to swell. Security staff tried to hold back the crowd that formed the second word got out. Photographers raised their cameras, murmurs turned into questions, and yet he didn't look left or right. He went straight to the desk, voice low but urgent, asking to know what was going on with Ebru. Hospital personnel confirmed only that tests were ongoing. No more, no less. Friends close to the couple whispered that she had felt weak throughout the day and decided to seek a checkup, but the severity of Akın's reaction made people wonder if there was more beneath the surface. Was this routine? Or was there a reason he looked like he was trying to outrun time itself? The hallway activity leaked online within minutes. Posts multiplied, stories were uploaded, and a single sentence became a headline repeated across accounts: "Akın didn't leave Ebru alone." That line found itself turned into a refrain, the digital chorus of the night. Fans rallied under it, sending prayers and encouragement, keeping vigil from their screens. Through it all, Akın stayed inside the hospital for hours and hours, barely speaking to anyone except a couple of close friends who arrived quietly and disappeared just as quickly. His silence raised the same old question that has hovered over them in whispers and speculation for months: are they closer than everyone thinks, or are they simply people who refuse to abandon each other when it matters most? As dawn neared, everyone waited for the statement that would accompany her possible discharge, eyes locked on the hospital doors, phones in hand, breath caught in a collective pause. The industry woke up in a panic and then realized it had never actually fallen asleep. Last night's tension stretched into the early morning. Returning from a project outside the country, Akın was thrown off course by a frantic call minutes after landing. The call said what no one ever wants to hear. Ebru had been admitted for a sudden illness. Plans evaporated. The instant the cabin door opened, he moved fast. Airport staff noticed his steps change after that call, measured became urgent, calm became clipped, and he didn't even angle toward the luggage belt. He pushed through the terminal, hat pulled low, assistant trailing behind as he made for the exit. People nearby heard a single sentence leap from him in the parking lot: "We have to go to the hospital now." He got into the car with the phone still pressed to his ear, alternating between terse questions and quiet, haunted silences as he waited for updates. Those who know him say that when he cares, he doesn't speak unless he must. Last night, that truth was written in the pauses between his words. At the hospital, the scene vibrated with energy. The first reporters arrived, the early whispers curled into full stories, and the doors of the emergency wing became the focus of every lens. Security teams tried to keep a path clear as Akın strode in, barely acknowledging the cluster of questions thrown at him. He went from the entrance to the reception in a straight line, voice controlled but unyielding, asking about Ebru's condition. Staff noticed the intensity on his face even as they kept their responses measured. Later, he was ushered into a private room where the situation was explained in more detail away from the cameras. Still, no official diagnosis was released to the public. The only thing offered was that Ebru had felt nausea and fatigue throughout the day and came in to be checked, with more tests underway. Online, the conversation twisted on a single axis: if it was ordinary, why did he look like the ground had dropped beneath his feet? Why did he seem ready to argue with time itself to get to her faster? support flooded in. Fans of the pair posted messages, lit up their feeds, and adopted a new rallying point, #Ebru. The name combination trended, carrying with it old hopes, fresh fears, and clips of their past moments that people still replay when they need proof that closeness can be both private and evident. He avoided the press and stayed in contact only with a small circle. According to eyewitnesses, once the doctors allowed it, he was taken to Ebru's room and remained there for a long stretch, a quiet fixture on a chair near the bed. That image, real or imagined, because no cameras were allowed near the door, fueled comments like, "He never left her side," and, "Say what you want, this is what loyalty looks like." Every corridor whisper turned into a headline, every unconfirmed detail into a rumor with teeth. What began at the airport unspooled through the night into a full-blown tabloid blaze. The night's third wave built with yet another recounting, this one from passengers who saw him on the plane and at the gate. They said the phone call came just as the aircraft rolled to a stop and the seatbelt signs went off. They said his entire posture changed, shoulders squared, eyes narrowed as if focusing on something only he could see. The people near the aisle remember him stepping into the flow and then out of it, finding a faster path through the terminal. They remember the assistant hurrying after him with a face that mirrored his urgency. The phrase, "as if he were breathless," was quoted more than once. Barely inside the car, another call began. According to sources, he phoned his agent and then several close mutual friends, asking for updates that kept drifting around the same uncertain center. She hadn't felt well, she decided to get checked, and the doctors wanted a fuller picture before saying anything definitive. His voice trembled and then trembled and steadied, as if he were regulating himself through the noise. The emergency entrance erupted briefly when he arrived. Security kept the path clear so Ebru wouldn't be caught in the press of people if she needed to be moved. He reached the reception desk almost at a run and, catching his breath, asked, "Which room is Ebru Sahin in?" The staff handled the question with professional calm. They reiterated what others had already said. She came in for testing after not feeling well, the tests were still in progress, and updates would come when the doctors were ready. That careful, necessary vagueness only stoked the uncertainty that had already caught fire online. Within minutes, posts multiplied again, and a new refrain pushed through, Akın wouldn't leave Ebru alone. The phrase was excerpted, reshared, highlighted over and over, usually under grainy photos taken from the parking lot and shaky videos capturing the blue glow of hospital lights. As the hours crept forward, a strange calm slowly layered over the chaos. People outside the hospital settled into hushed conversations. The online crowd refreshed their feeds, waited, refreshed again. Inside, it was said that he stayed nearby, hands clasped, listening for the door. It's a small detail, but it matters. When the situation demanded presence, he chose presence over performance. He wasn't there to be seen. He was there to make sure she wasn't alone while the answers were being gathered. That choice fed a narrative that had been simmering for months and suddenly felt undeniable. People dug up interviews, stitched together moments, passing around older clips where a look or a laugh seemed to trace the outlines of something deeper than friendship. The questions returned. Are they simply bound by years of work and trust, or is there more threaded between them than anyone has been willing to say out loud? The night refused to answer, but it didn't need to. For many, the answer was already visible in how he moved through the city to reach her. By the time a soft light began to show beyond the windows, the hospital's official tone hadn't shifted: tests, evaluation, observation. No alarming statement. No dramatic diagnosis. Just the slow work of making sure she was fine. And yet the story of the night had already settled into a shape that everyone understood. It began with a phone call, carried through a run to a car, spilled into a waiting room, and steadied itself in a quiet near a hospital bed. There were no grand speeches. There was only urgency, fear, patience, and a kind of steadfastness that doesn't need the confirmation of a press release. Whether they choose to define it or not, the world saw what it saw. The rest can wait until they're ready to speak. We followed every step, from the airport to the emergency doors, from the first alert to the trending tags. The acting world will be talking about this for days. While we all wait for the next update on Ebru's condition, one thing is certain. Last night belonged to the question of what binds two people when the lights are harsh and the floor feels unsteady. If you've stayed with us through the night, thank you. This is the end of our video for now. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and share it. Goodbye.